new catalogue time.
Oh my goodness.
Yay! So it's Saleabration plus
Wait a second, Kylie.
new catalogue.
Your name is Kylie.
Yes.
My name is Bruno.
Yes.
Why aren't we live?
Well, at the moment,
If all goes well.
I am hoping to be sipping a cocktail by the pool. Bruno's already at East Cruise Wear.
Yes.
He's ready for it.
I bought this a couple years ago, ready to go on a cruise in March 2020.
It got
but,
cancelled.
life happened. And so this is...
3 years later.
Yeah, rescheduled. Well,
2 years later.
Rescheduled, and so if all goes well, we're on a cruise ship right now.
That will be exciting.
Yeah. So that's why we're not live. This is pre-recorded, but we know what you need to hear.
Yes.
And what do they need to hear, Kylie?
That it's new catalogue time.
Oh my goodness. So, hold that up again. Oh my goodness.
So, if you haven't got this catalogue in your hot little hands, please message us to get a copy.
Everyone, or just those that live in Australia?
Just those that live in Australia. But, if you live in other countries and you're after a catalogue and you don't have a demonstrator, we're happy to help you. We can help you with any demonstrator around the world.
Yes.
But you can only shop with us if you live in Australia. So, if you want to shop with us, we would love to help you.
Now, if you're a demonstrator, you should already have received one of those from Stampin' Up. If you shop with us in the last 6 months, we will have already arranged to get you a copy, and hopefully you've got one of those and one of these.
If you haven't,
they're coming.
They're coming.
Just if you haven't got it, just send us a quick email and we can just follow up. There has been some delays, we've heard, but yeah, just let us know and we would be happy to just follow up. And if it doesn't come in the next few weeks,
We'll be able to help you.
Yeah, we'll be able to help you.
We'll set you up. But the amazing thing is that we always show a lot of samples, and we've shown you a lot of ideas and things that you can use and the products. We've got all the unboxing videos. So hopefully by now, with or without a catalogue, you know what you want to purchase. So you can just use the link below to go shopping now. So what is the best option for people, Bruno?
Joining is always the best option.
Yeah.
And it's even better during Saleabration. You know why? Because you get
Extra
more
freebies.
More for free.
Yeah.
So, Kylie, what's the deal?
So in Saleabration, probably the best deal, there is a few deals, so you can contact us if you need to know more. Like, for instance, if you don't want this baby.
But why?
Why not? Of course you want this in your room, even if it's just to look at on the shelf. But there is an option without this, or if you wanted the white. However, so that we don't confuse you, this is the special we will tell you about. Now, the special with this one is that you can join for $210 and you get to pick $315 of any product you want. That's right, any product you want, plus you get this free.
Brilliant.
So you get $95 worth of product for free, plus this is valued at $110. Yes, please. So it's a really great time to think about joining. And then on top of that, you actually get free postage. So it's a really, really great deal. And of course, with joining our team, what are some of the things that they get for joining our team, Bruno?
You get to be on our team.
Oh, who wouldn't want to be on our team?
When you join our team directly, we send you something. We're not telling you about it, but we send you a surprise. Everybody that joins our team directly. But we also provide with free class bundles, which are valued at
$21.
$21 each.
And we've also got like monthly Zoom classes for the team. We just did one this week and we had so much fun. We actually did a tutorial made by Erica Serwin. So we did her class and it was so much fun, like helping each other work it out and use all the new products. And some of us were doing all sorts of different things, but it was just so lovely to be with the team. And then we have like special events where we go to like on stage and we get to do special things for the team. So we have a lot of things that we do for you as our team member. And
do you have to sell though?
No, you don't have to sell at all.
No.
Which is great. We have a lot of hobby demonstrators.
And we love it. Like, we love to be able to craft together, and we would love to have you join our team during Saleabration, because you are going to want to get that mini stem.
Blue. And the interesting thing is, if you did want to start a business, we do have the resources to help you to do that.
Yes.
So online training, how to set up a Stampin' Up business, specifically what we have done to make it a success for us. And we're not guaranteeing, because we are 0.01% of demonstrators worldwide who achieve these things. However, we have seen that by being consistent in our business, it has benefited us and many others as well. So if we can help you with that, we would love to.
Yes.
So there's lots of options, whether it's creative, business, whatever it is that you want to do, we're happy to help you and assist you in what it is that you want from Stampin' Up. And these beautiful new products, it's a no-brainer, because one thing that I mentioned last week, Bruno, this is really exciting. I don't know if you've realised this, but if they join in January or February, they have no quarterly minimums until the end of July.
Right.
And that means that the annual catalogue is coming out in May, so they get to do the annual catalogue.
Yeah.
You get discounts on that as well.
She said they, but what she's really saying is you.
And
when
us.
you join our team. Yes.
So it's a really great deal, because as demonstrators, we get to have some amazing deals. We get all of the host rewards. Any specials that customers get, we get as well. So it's really worth it. So
there's one more thing.
One thing we're going to do. Oh yes, do tell.
If you already have a mini scam and you would prefer to join without getting the mini scam, it's a bit cheaper.
Options, yeah.
So just contact us and we can let you know about that. But $210, the big thing you need to remember, $210. That's how much it's going to cost you during Saleabration. You get to select $315 worth of product. Any product. Anything on the online store, you get to choose. You get a free boho blue mini scam, or you can get the white one if you want, and you get free postage.
Yay!
So that's all you need to remember. And
you only have until the end of February
to really take advantage of that excellent special.
And this catalogue only goes till the end of April, people.
Yeah, it's changed.
So we really, really want to dig deep into this ASAP, and Saleabration is a great time to get these products, because during Saleabration, every $90 or every $180 that you spend, and that's the same for demonstrators, you get free items. And there's lots and lots of cool free items that you can score. Paper. I'm so excited about the paper.
So we've talked a lot about joining. So if we just put that aside for a second, as Kylie just mentioned, anytime you place an order in our online store, if you spend $90, you get to pick something from this brochure for free. I just mansplained you.
You did. But I love it. Repetition for emphasis.
So we're allowed to show you inside this catalogue now, because it's after the date.
Yes.
So there's options about stamp sets that you can get for free. There's options
about... We're going to do a really great carrot card. Paper.
That you can get for free.
There's a few papers
There's a few papers. There's more paper, and a lot of these products here get to...
That phone paper's so cute. And they coordinate with other things.
Another stamp set. There's
this
beautiful paper.
And you can only get it for free. You can't shop for these items. You can only
get it for free.
Yeah.
So another stamp set, and these ones here, you can see there's both of them. Yes, both of these. With every $180 order.
So some are with 90.
Some are with 90. Some are with 180. So if you have a copy of this, if you have a copy of this, you'll be able to see exactly what you can redeem.
And we will have a video coming up very soon. As soon as we get back from the cruise, I will do a video to show you how to join and how to shop. because sometimes adding the little Saleabration items can be a little bit confusing, and we love to support you. But some of you have done this before, so that's no problem. But if you're new to ordering these items and you just need a little bit of support, we will still have Wi-Fi on the cruise ship.
Yes.
So just message us and we will be able to walk you through it. Or you can call Stamping Up and they will be able to help you too. They're so helpful. They're the best. So just let us know if you're having challenges and we will be able to get back to you ASAP while I'm drinking a cocktail by the pool. I'll be like, sure, I can help you. What would you like? So that is very exciting. But what are we here for, Bruno?
One more thing. Sorry.
Oh, there's another thing.
Okay, I'm going to flash something on the screen now. And that is our paper share.
Oh, the paper share.
It's our Love It Chop It Club.
Yes.
We have to close this either today or tomorrow. So if you live in Australia, you are going to want to take advantage of this paper because you will get an amazing amount of paper. We don't just give you a 6x6. If it's a 12x12 pack of paper, we will give you a full 12x6 piece of each of the sheets of designer series paper that's in the catalogue.
That's great.
Excluding the host one. So if you, like I mentioned, if you live in Australia, sign up for that. We have some amazing extra bonus free items when you join our paper club. So you're going to want to do that. We are really going to have to close it because we have to place the order. We're going to have to do it on the ship's Wi-Fi.
Chop it.
And we're
we
going
have
to have to
chop it.
Yeah.
So we want to get that delivery out to everyone ASAP. We don't want to hold that up for everyone.
Correct.
We have our very first class bundle release for January. And at the moment, you can sign up for the subscription for those class bundles. That means you get all 72 classes and you get 12 classes for free when you sign up for the subscription. So please look at that because you're going to absolutely love these classes. You will have unlimited access. You also get given a PDF with all of the measurements and all the supplies, everything that we've used for the class. And it works out to less than like $1.50 per class Australian dollars. So it's really great value and it's a great way to collect each sort of suite of products. You get a class for each suite. So we know that you're going to love that because we need a lot of support for this brand new catalogue and we're going to give it to you. So check that out and we would love for you to sign up for our subscription for the next 6 months.
And this first month is featuring the fabulous Flora. And you are going to love the projects on that.
Good.
Now, Kylie mentioned we are crafting. I've already shot the video and I know you're going to love it because
you're going to love it.
I really love
it's a
this project.
Beautiful project.
This is the project we're going to be making, people.
What?
So we're breaking out the Scrappy strip again.
Wow. The Scrappy strip will always be a favourite of mine.
This is a Bruno Bertucci Big Call. This is my favourite Scrappy strip that I've made.
Oh, I think your copy of our Aboriginal painting is my favourite, which is the original.
Interesting. I do a history of Scrappy strip in this video.
You
so
do too.
You are really going to enjoy that. So if you're going to be crafting along, grab out your delicate desert.
I would say delicate dessert.
I forget the name.
It is delicate desert, yes.
There's delicate desert and in the desert. I forget the name of
I think there's in the desert.
So you're going to love that. So let's make it, people. So as mentioned, this is the project that we will be making. You can see it's got some beautiful paper and this is all from the upcoming catalogue. But let me just go through some of the products that we're going to be using. First up, we're going to be using the flower here from the Desert Details stamp set. And as you can see, we are going to stamp that on craft, which is great. The sentiment, sending warm rays your way. The sparkly paper that you can see is the dry brush metallic. And you can see I've used both of these colours. And for the rest of the designer series paper, I use the delicate desert paper, and you can see I've already had a real go at this. So when you're cutting the designer series paper, I would usually just start with a card front size, and I would trim it this way, and it will make sense as we do that. So in actual fact, I will trim this piece of paper just to show you how I trim it. If you can hear some snoring, Jasper, our dog, is snoring on the floor nearby, so rest assured it's not me. So what I've done is I've mounted this, first of all, on a piece of Very Vanilla, which you probably can't see, and then I mounted it on a piece of Pale Papaya, and then I mounted it on a card base, which is crumb cake, and then over the top of that I have a piece of craft, but I've also used an embossing folder over the top, and the embossing folder that I've used is timber. So first up, let's cut the strips. Now the idea behind, first of all, the Scrappy strips technique is this painting. Now this painting was done by a friend of ours. His name is Tio. We know him, so we are happy to have that in our house. But we were at an event and we saw some of his artwork, and we absolutely fell in love with this piece, and so we bought it. And so every time I would see that piece of beautiful artwork, I would think to myself, I would love to make a card based on that. And so this is what I thought I could do. So in that actual piece, I cut the pieces of cardstock. But you know, when sometimes you have projects and you have little scraps, or you have little pieces of cardstock, this is a way that you can use it. So as I mentioned, am going to cut some cardstock. First of all, we need some strips. That's what we're going to start with. So just grab your trimmer. Kylie says I use my trimmer funny because I use it this direction. I think it's the normal direction. So we're going to cut it long ways. So you can cut these strips whichever way you want. You can cut them as fat or as thin as you want. So I'm just going to cut like this, and like this, and I'm going to keep doing that. And so you can see I've got strips. Now I've got more than enough than what we'll need for our card today, but that's fine. So I'm just going to move these up out of the way just a little bit. So next up, I'm going to take a piece of Very Vanilla. I chose Very Vanilla over Basic White because I thought it just looked better with these colour cardstock. And I'm going to just do a quick adhesion. Is that the right word? Yeah. To some grid paper, just so I have a base. It's just a little dab of that. Now you can use whatever adhesive you would like, but I'm going to use Tombow on this, and just because I think it works better. So I'm going to go in order. So I'm going to start with this green and just run through in order. You don't have to do it in order, but that's just what I'm going to do for today. So I'm just going to do a tiny little strip of glue, and then I'm going to stick it down. Okay. So now the next one, the best thing about this technique is that there are no rules. You can do the pieces where you want to keep it as straight as possible, or you can rotate it around this way, whatever you would like. Now, this is an example of the reason why I think it's better to cut long ways. If you want a really skinny piece, you can use a really skinny piece. If you want a really fat piece, you can use that. So I just find that there's more flexibility if you cut long pieces as opposed to shorter pieces, whereas if you cut this the other way, then you really have only one way that you can place it. So at least cutting it long ways like this, you have flexibility of how you can use this one piece. So the next piece I'm going to stick, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to allow for a bit of a gap, but I'm just going to run that down. And I'm going to stick that. The next piece, I'll stick like that. Now, if you use Tombow, just be really careful that you don't put too much. If you're going to use another type of glue, just make sure you don't you adhere all the way to the edges, because sometimes if you do some trimming, it might not adhere if you don't go all the way to the edge. And that, my friends, is how I'm sticking down. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to continue this process and cover this whole sheet. I will keep it recording, but I'll do it in fast motion for you so you can see it, okay? So, even though there's that little bit that isn't covered, that will very likely be trimmed, because I've made this a card front size, and as you can see, it's going to be trimmed down a bit. So, if I can give you another tip before you make it, if you can keep that one side straight, and that's going to be the edge that you use to trim, because you always need something to put up against the edge of the trimmer. So that's what we've got. So if I turn it over, you can see that we have all these edges, and we will just give that a trim. So before we trim this down, let's get the card base ready. So I mentioned earlier that we're going to be using a crumb cake card base. So this is just half a sheet of, we use A4 here, so I'm just going to score that in half. So there's our card base. Now I'll take a piece of craft paper, and what I'm going to do is I found that when I trim and then emboss, that it's just slightly not long enough as I want it. So what I'm going to do is I'm first going to emboss, and then I'll trim it to size. So we have a piece of craft now that we're just going to cut to the exact size of a card front. Now in Australia, that's 10.5 centimeters by 14.9. So I'll just trim a bit from both sides. And just stick that down. Okay, so then over the top of that, we'll just cut a piece of pale papaya. So in terms of size, I'm going to cut the pale papaya to this size, and I'm going to cut this scrappy strip to this size. Yeah, so there's quite a bit that is going to be cut off, but that's okay. And so that's how it will look. Sorry, the other way around. Okay, so I'll just cut the pale papaya size. Now, to cut this down, it's not the easiest. So the best place to start, this is why I mentioned that you want to keep a straight line, just so that you have something to run it up hard against. Now, I have to tell you that using a trimmer like this is not ideal when it comes to trimming bits and pieces like this, because it often gets caught. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use a retired product. Remember this? If you have a guillotine of any sort, it probably will work better. So what I'm going to do, just to make it a bit easier, I'm just going to trim these edges off so that it will fit inside the guillotine. And I'm going to trim just one edge, just so it's got a straight edge, okay? So I don't know if you remember using this, but I've always found that when I have this pushed down, it works best. So I'll just trim that. And that's given a really good haircut. Now, the width of this I want is 9 centimeters. So I can turn that over and trim this direction and just put it to 9 centimeters, which is down the bottom. And I'll just do that. So that's the right height. Now we just need to cut it the right width. Now, while I've got this here, you can see that the reason why I was saying about gluing right to the edge is because we want to use this edge. So I'm going to just turn this over and I'll slide that through. In fact, I'll do it the other way. And if you hadn't glued all the way to the edge, you wouldn't be able to, like these bits would fall off, and we don't want that. So I'll just trim that edge bit like this, and we will use that on the inside of the card, okay? So that's why you want to glue all the way to the edge, so you have that piece. Now, how are we going to know how long it's going to be, because this doesn't go to the edge like that? So the easiest way to do that is to just, and you can measure the height that you want it, And you can just do a scored line like this, or you can get a pencil and just mark it, but you can see that I've just sort of scored it, and that should be enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that scored line, and I'm just going to line it up with the edge here. Hold that, oh, is it the right side? Yes, it is. There we have it. Now let's see if that's all framed nicely. That's perfect, isn't it? So I'll just adhere that to there. Okay, there we have it. And I'm just going to adhere this to the card base now using dimensionals. Okay, that took a bit longer than I expected because I put a few too many dimensionals on that, and so I'll just line that up. Perfect. Well, actually, it's not perfect because I was going to have it the other way around, but that'll do. Okay, the next thing we are going to do is we are going to do some stamping. So we've got a piece of craft. Let's just take a piece. Craft is honestly, I will be so sad if Stampin' Up! Retires craft again. I love it so much. So I'm just going to use this stamp, a flower stamp, and I'm going to stamp it using Cajun Craze directly onto craft. Okay? So let's just do that. Beautiful, isn't it? Look how rich it looks, even though it's not on basic white. So if you haven't tried stamping on craft, give it a go, because look at that. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So that's all we'll use that for. Now I'll just trim this out because we're going to be using a coordinating die with that. So let me just line that up while we're here. Now this is using the desert, what's it called? Desert Details, not Dessert Details. I was a bit confused when I saw the names in the catalogue because I saw there was one that had a dessert and I thought that that's what it was talking about, but it's not. So here it is. This, oh, look at that. That's beautiful. So we'll use that. Now, the next thing we are going to do is the sentiment. So let's just grab that piece of craft. And the sentiment is sending warm rays your way. So let's just, do you guys all have the Embossing Editions toolkit? If you haven't, what are you waiting for? So I'll just, the Embossing Buddy is a must have. If you're going to be doing embossing, you must have that. So I'll just stamp that along the bottom because it already has a straight edge, and we want a bit of spare space on the right. There we have that. So I'll just take this out and I will dump all this embossing powder over the top of that. Okay, so here is a reason why you need the embossing tool, Embossing Editions toolkit. So usually you'd be able to scrape that off with something, But if you just come up and you just, see that? It's gone. Look how perfect that is. I love it. So now, then you take this off the edge and just dump that all the way back in. We actually have one of these for white. Well, we have one of these each, first of all, in white. But in Kylie's stamp room, we have separate stamping areas. Just, let's not talk about that. But anyway, Kylie has one of these whole trays for black, one of them for white, and she's going to get another one for clear, just so that the powders don't mix. So we'll just put all of that away, and we will now emboss this. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Love it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim just a little bit off the bottom because it's a bit too big, and I'm going to trim the other edge as well. So let's do that. Excellent. So this is going to be hidden underneath that. So that's fine. But what I'm going to do on this edge is I'm going to make a little banner. So how do you do this? This is a tip you probably all know, but in case you don't, here we go. So I've just cut a little slit in the middle, the depth that I want the banner to go to, and then I'll just trim to the sides. I think everybody knows this, but when we're on YouTube and I do something like that, everyone's like, oh my goodness, that's the best tip I've ever seen. Do you like how it automatically switched to an American accent? So that looks great. So that's going to sit like so. And then this flower is going to sit like this underneath. That's why I wanted a bit extra. But the last bit that I'm going to cut out for this project is this here. It's like a leafage of some sort, and I'm going to be using soft succulent because soft succulent is one of the colors in the designer series paper. So I'll just cut that out. There we are. Wow, isn't that awesome? So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to adhere it like this. And in order to do that, I'm just going to directly apply the dimensionals, which are going to give it dimension, but also adhere it to the piece. So some of you probably do that. It's going to look something like that. So I've got a couple dimensionals at the top. I'll need one on the side over here. And the width of this is hopefully enough that, no, I cut it a bit too thin. So I'll just cut those in half, or you can use some minis. So I'll just adhere that. Awesome. And this last bit, I've taken the backings off that. So I'll just adhere that like so. So there, my friends, is our project. Now, Kylie will be very upset if I show you a project that's nudie on the inside. So I'm not going to do that. I have a card base here. I'll just cut it down so that it fits nicely. In fact, I will cut it down so that it's the same width as this. So I will need to cut that. I'll cut, say, 0.5 centimetre off that. Wow, that looks hot. Love it. So I'll just stick that down. If you wanted to do some more stamping on the inside, you could, by all means. I'll just adhere that to the inside. And there we have it. So hopefully this has inspired you in regards to how you can make some simple and effective backgrounds using the Scrappy strip technique. I will just put up some of the examples of Scrappy strip cards that we've made in the past. Some of them use different designer series paper. Some of them just use cardstock. Some of them use cardstock that has been embossed differently. Lots of different ideas. There's a variation on the Scrappy strip technique, and that's the mosaic technique. So you follow the same pattern where you Scrappy strip, then you cut that into strips, and you can rotate the pieces all the way around so it looks like a mosaic. So that's a variation that somebody came up with. So I hope you have enjoyed this project. I want to see you guys, I'm going to set you a challenge. I want to see your version using the Scrappy strip technique. It could be different designer series paper, it could be different pieces of cardstock, whatever. I want to see it. And when you make it, tag us. Our Instagram is Kylie Bertucci SU Demonstrator, or you can send it through to us over on Facebook, or you can email. We would love to see us. Whichever way you make it, we would love to see it. So, what did you think?
We're back again.
What did you think?
It was very good.
I really enjoyed making that.
I got quite nostalgic looking at all the different Scrappy strips we've done.
Yeah. I really hope that you guys crack out a Scrappy strip yourself and tag us, like I mentioned at the end of that video. If you've got something that you've made, please tag us. We would love to see it. But thank you very much for watching. If I can reiterate what we said right at the start, the best offer right now is to join our team.
Yeah.
Just $210. And you get to pick $315 worth of products. You get free postage, and you get a free boho blue mini scan.
Yay to the mini scan!
You're going to do it. You're going to want to do it.
And please comment. We love all your comments. So let us know if you're watching this video, and we will do our best to reply to as many of you as we can. So thank you so much for your support, and
join the paper share as well.
So thank you for coming. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
And we'll see you when we get back from our cruise.
See you later.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.